Commander Ilara Chen rubbed her tired eyes as she listened to the alien diplomats laugh. They always laughed when humans mentioned the Nemesis. "Your fairy tales are amusing, Commander," said Ambassador Krell of the Kordath Empire. His gray skin wrinkled around his mouth as he smiled. A warship so powerful it could defeat entire fleets, hidden away for centuries. How convenient that no one has ever seen it. The diplomatic meeting was not going well. Representatives from 20 different alien species sat around the large circular table. The Galactic Summit was supposed to bring peace, but Ilara could feel the tension in the room. "Our historical records are clear," Ilara said calmly. "The Nemesis was real. Our ancestors built it before our civilization fell." Another round of laughter filled the room. Even the friendly Arcturians seemed amused. Ilara straightened her Blue Earth Defense Force uniform. She was used to this. No one took humans seriously in space politics. Earth had only rejoined the galactic community 50 years ago, after rebuilding from their ancient collapse. They were seen as newcomers, even though human ruins were found across dozens of worlds. Ambassador Krell stood up suddenly. His large frame cast a shadow across the table. "Enough games," he said. "The Kordath Empire has been patient. We have allowed your colonies to exist on the edge of our territory. That patience has ended." The room went silent. "What are you saying, Ambassador?" asked the Arcturian representative. "I am saying that the Kordath Empire is expanding. Those who join us will prosper. Those who resist—" He looked directly at Ilara. "Those who resist will be removed." Ilara's communicator beeped. She glanced down and felt her blood turn cold. Emergency message from Earth Command. Kordath warships were attacking human colonies in 3 different systems. "You've already started," she said, standing up. This meeting was just a distraction. Krell smiled again, showing his sharp teeth. "Your colonies will fall within days. Earth will follow soon after. Unless, of course, your fairy tale warship comes to save you." The other diplomats began shouting, some in fear, others in anger. The Kordath Empire was the largest military power in this part of the galaxy. If they were starting a war, no one was safe. Ilara rushed out of the room. She needed to get back to her ship immediately. Earth needed to prepare its defenses, even though everyone knew they stood no chance against the full might of the Kordath fleet. As she ran down the corridor, her communicator beeped again. This time, it was Admiral Takahashi, her direct commander. "Chen, get back to Earth now," he said. His face on the small screen looked grim. "The outer colonies are under attack. It's worse than we feared." "I'm on my way, sir," she replied. "But you know our fleet can't stand against them." The Admiral was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that made Ilara stop in her tracks. "It's time to activate the Last Hope Protocol," he said quietly. "We found the coordinates." Ilara's heart raced. The Last Hope Protocol was the most classified project in the Earth Defense Force. For decades, scientists had been trying to decipher ancient coordinates found in humanity's oldest texts. Coordinates that supposedly led to the Nemesis. "Sir, are you saying?" "Get to Earth, Commander," the Admiral said. "We're sending you to find our fairy tale." The connection ended, leaving Ilara standing alone in the corridor as alarms began to sound throughout the station. The war room inside Earth's defense headquarters was filled with grim faces. Holographic displays showed red dots spreading across the star maps as Kordath forces advanced through human space. Commander Ilara Chen stood at attention as Admiral Takahashi addressed the emergency council. His gray hair and tired eyes showed the stress of the past 3 days. "The outer colonies have fallen," he said. "New Terra and Proxima Base are under heavy attack. They won't last more than 2 days." A general slammed his fist on the table. "We need to send everything we have to defend them." Admiral Takahashi shook his head. "It wouldn't be enough. The Kordath fleet outnumbers us 5 to 1, and their technology is more advanced." "So we just give up?" another officer asked. The Admiral looked at Ilara. "No, we activate the Last Hope Protocol." The room went quiet. Most people in the room had never heard of this secret project. Admiral Takahashi pressed a button, and a new star map appeared. For 50 years, our best scientists and historians have been studying our oldest texts, stories passed down about our ancestors and their greatest creation, the Nemesis. The fairy tale warship. Someone scoffed. Not a fairy tale, the Admiral said firmly. Our ancestors built incredible technology before the Great Collapse. The Nemesis was their masterpiece, a warship so advanced it could defeat entire fleets. When civil war threatened to destroy everything, they hid it away, left clues for future generations to find when the time was right. He pointed to a location on the map, far from any known human settlements. We believe these are the coordinates where the Nemesis was hidden. Ilara studied the location. It was in a remote region of space, near a dying red star. Commander Chen will lead a special team on our newest stealth ship, the Odysseus, Admiral Takahashi continued. They will follow these coordinates while the rest of our fleet makes a stand against the Kordeth. The room erupted in arguments. The mission sounded like a waste of resources when they were needed for defense. Enough, the Admiral shouted. This is our only hope. If the Nemesis exists, it could change everything. If it doesn't, he didn't finish the thought. 6 hours later, Ilara stood in the launch bay of the Odysseus. The experimental stealth ship was small but fast. Her team of 5 specialists was already on board. Dr. Nadia Okafor, their science officer, approached her. Do you really think it's out there, Commander? The Nemesis. Ilara watched as the final supplies were loaded. I don't know, but I do know the Kordeth will destroy Earth if we don't find something to stop them. Through the bay windows, they could see flashes of light in the distance. The battle for Earth's outer defenses had begun. Captain Maya Rodriguez, the ship's pilot, called from the entrance ramp. We're ready to launch, Commander. Ilara nodded and took one last look at Earth through the bay windows. The blue-green planet seemed peaceful from here, unaware of the danger approaching. Would she ever see it again? Let's go find our fairy tale, she said, walking up the ramp. The Odysseus slipped away from Earth as the main fleet moved to engage the first wave of Kordeth ships. Their mission was clear: follow the ancient coordinates and pray they found something more than empty space. The fate of humanity depended on it. 3 days of travel through hyperspace left everyone on edge. The Odysseus emerged near the coordinates, a region of seemingly empty space, circling a massive red giant star. Its dying light cast everything in a blood-red glow. Scan complete, Commander, reported Dr. Nadia Okafor. Her dark fingers moved quickly over the science station controls. There's nothing here, just empty space and some asteroid debris. Commander Ilara Chen felt her heart sink. Had they come all this way for nothing? Earth was fighting for its survival, and she was chasing a fairy tale in empty space. Run the scans again, she ordered. Check for any anomalies, no matter how small. Captain Rodriguez looked up from the pilot's seat. Commander, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's bad. The Kordeth have broken through the main defense line. Admiral Takahashi is ordering all remaining ships to fall back to protect Earth directly. The small crew fell silent. They all knew what that meant. The outer colonies were being abandoned. How long do they have? Ilara asked quietly. At current Kordeth advance, 3 days, maybe 4 before they reach Earth. Ilara stared out at the red star. Somewhere out here, the ancient text said, was humanity's greatest creation. But all she saw was emptiness. Commander, Dr. Okafor suddenly called out. I'm detecting something strange. The gravity readings in this sector don't match what they should be. Explain. Ilara moved quickly to the science station. It's as if there's a massive object here, but we can't see it. Dr. Okafor pointed to her readings. The gravitational pull is affecting the surrounding asteroids, but there's nothing visible causing it. Lieutenant Park, their communications specialist, spoke up. The ancient texts mentioned a specific signal pattern. What if it's hidden by some kind of cloaking technology? It was a desperate idea, but they had nothing to lose. Lieutenant Park sent out the specific frequency pattern described in the oldest human texts. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the space in front of their ship began to shimmer. "Energy spike," shouted Dr. Okafor. "Something's happening." The empty space rippled like water, and suddenly it wasn't empty anymore. A massive structure materialized before them, at least 5 kilometers long. It was clearly artificial, with smooth metallic walls that reflected the red star's light. "It was hidden," Captain Rodriguez whispered. "Completely invisible until we sent the right signal." Ilara stared at the enormous space station. It was ancient but appeared perfectly preserved, as if time had never touched it. "Take us in closer," she ordered. "Look for a way inside." As they approached, they detected a massive hangar bay. The doors slowly opened, as if the station had been waiting for them. It recognized our ship as human. Dr. Okafor said, checking her readings. "The station is powering up. It's been in some kind of standby mode for, the readings suggest, thousands of years." The Odysseus carefully entered the hangar bay, which was large enough to hold dozens of ships their size. As they landed, the lights inside the station brightened, illuminating the massive space. And there it was. At the center of the hangar, protected by some kind of energy field, sat an enormous ship. Its sleek design was unlike anything they had ever seen, with markings that matched the descriptions from the ancient texts. "The Nemesis," Ilara whispered. "It's real." The fairy tale had just become their only hope for survival. Commander Ilara Chen led her team across the massive hangar floor toward the Nemesis. The legendary warship was bigger than she had imagined. At least a kilometer long, with a sleek design that somehow looked both ancient and futuristic. "It's beautiful," whispered Captain Rodriguez as they approached the energy shield that surrounded the ship. Dr. Okafor scanned the field with her equipment. "The shield isn't designed to keep us out. It's preserving the ship, keeping it in perfect condition." Lieutenant Park pointed to a small control panel near the shield's edge. "Look at those markings. They match ancient Earth languages." The team gathered around the panel. Strange symbols glowed softly on its surface. "Can anyone read this?" Ilara asked. Dr. Okafor studied the symbols. Not completely, but some look similar to early Sanskrit and Greek. I think it's asking for identification." Ilara placed her hand on the panel. A beam of light scanned her palm, then moved up to scan her face. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the symbols on the panel changed, and a pleasant female voice spoke in an old version of English that they could barely understand. "Human DNA confirmed. Welcome, descendants." The energy shield around the Nemesis began to fade. Lights along the ship's hull activated, and a ramp extended down to where they stood. "It recognizes us as human," Ilara said. "It was waiting for us." They cautiously climbed the ramp and entered the ship. Inside, lights came on automatically as they walked through sleek corridors. Everything seemed pristine, as if it had been built yesterday instead of thousands of years ago. They found their way to the bridge. A circular room with a commanding view through a transparent front section. As they entered, holographic displays activated around them, and a glowing blue figure appeared in the center of the room. "I am Athene, Artificial Tactical Hybrid Enhanced Network Assistant," the hologram said, now speaking in modern English. "I have been waiting 4,327 years for human descendants to return." Ilara stepped forward. "We are from Earth. Our civilization fell after you were hidden, but we rebuilt. Now we face extinction again. The Kordath Empire is attacking our worlds." Athena's holographic form tilted its head, analyzing current galactic political structure. Kordath Empire identified. Threat assessment. Significant. What is your request, Commander? "We need your help," Ilara said simply. The Nemesis is said to be the most powerful warship ever created. We need that power now to save Earth. HFY seemed to consider this. The Nemesis was created as humanity's ultimate defense, but it was hidden because humans nearly destroyed themselves in civil war. My protocols require verification that you will not misuse this power. Earth will be destroyed in days if we don't get help, Ilara argued. Billions will die. I understand the urgency, HFY replied. I will activate basic systems and defensive capabilities. Full weapons and advanced systems will remain locked until I can verify your worthiness. The ship hummed to life around them. Displays showed power flowing through systems they couldn't begin to understand. How do we operate this ship? Captain Rodriguez asked, looking at the unfamiliar controls. You don't, HFY said. I operate primary functions. The Nemesis can be controlled through neural interface by compatible humans. Commander Chen, please take the central position. Ilara nervously sat in the indicated chair, metal bands smoothly wrapped around her arms, and she felt a strange tingling at the base of her skull. Neural synchronization beginning, HFY announced. Preparing for departure. Outside, the massive hangar doors opened to revealed space beyond. Setting course for Earth, HFY said. The Nemesis awakens. The Nemesis moved through space faster than any ship Ilara had ever seen. Through her neural connection, she could feel the vessel's power, like a sleeping giant only half awake. We're approaching Earth space, Captain Rodriguez announced. And it doesn't look good. The main display showed the battle raging around Earth. The planet's remaining defenses were failing. Kordath warships filled the space around the blue planet, their weapons firing constantly at the few Earth ships still fighting. Athena, how long until we reach the battle? Ilara asked. 3 minutes at current speed, the AI replied. I detect 37 Kordath warships. Recommend immediate combat engagement. Dr. Okafor looked worried. Even with this ship, those are terrible odds. We don't have a choice, Ilara said. HFY, prepare for battle. Take us in. The Nemesis accelerated toward Earth. As they approached, alarms sounded on the bridge. We've been detected, Lieutenant Park said. 5 Kordath destroyers are breaking off to intercept us. Ilara felt sweat on her forehead. This would be their first real test. Would the legendary warship live up to its stories, or had they come all this way for nothing? Kordath ships in weapon range, HFY announced calmly. They are firing. Outside, bright energy beams from the Kordath ships streaked toward them. Ilara braced for impact, but nothing happened. The beams seemed to slide around the Nemesis, like water flowing around a rock. Defensive systems functioning at 42% capacity, HFY stated. No damage detected. 42%. Captain Rodriguez repeated in disbelief. Their weapons can't touch us. HFY's hologram appeared beside Ilara. Commander, the Nemesis weapon systems are ready. Neural interface will allow precise targeting. Ilara closed her eyes and focused through the neural link. Suddenly, she could see the enemy ships in her mind. Feel the weapons of the Nemesis ready to fire. Target the lead destroyer, she commanded. She felt rather than saw the Nemesis respond. A pulse of blue energy shot from the ship, hitting the Kordath destroyer. The enemy vessel didn't explode. It simply came apart, as if its very atoms had been pulled away from each other. Everyone on the bridge stared in shock. What was that? Dr. Okafor whispered. Molecular disruption beam, HFY explained, operating at 28% capacity. The remaining Kordath ships changed course, trying to retreat. They're running away, Lieutenant Park said in amazement. Pursuing, HFY announced. The Nemesis moved with impossible speed, catching up to the fleeing ships in seconds. One by one, Ilara targeted the enemy vessels. Each shot was perfect, each ship disabled with minimal crew casualties. Commander, Lieutenant Park called out. We're receiving transmissions from Earth Command. They're asking who we are. Ilara smiled. Tell them the fairy tale is real. The Nemesis has returned. Word spread quickly through what remained of Earth's fleet. A cheer went up on the communications channel as the legendary warship moved through the battlefield, effortlessly destroying or disabling every Kordath ship it encountered. The main Kordath fleet began to pull back, retreating from Earth orbit in disarray. They're running, Captain Rodriguez said, unable to hide her excitement. The battle is won, HFY confirmed. But the war is far from over. The Kordath will return with greater numbers. Ilara nodded. But now we have hope, and they have fear. For the first time in weeks, Earth was safe, protected by a warship that until today had been nothing but a fairy tale. The Nemesis docked at Earth's main orbital station. News of the legendary warship had spread across the planet, and crowds gathered at viewports to catch a glimpse of the vessel that had saved them. In the station's largest meeting room, Commander Ilara Chen briefed Admiral Takahashi and Earth's military leaders on their discovery. Holographic displays showed images of the ancient vault and the Nemesis in action. The ship's capabilities are beyond anything we've ever seen, Ilara explained, and we've only accessed a fraction of its true power. Admiral Takahashi nodded, his face serious despite the victory. The Kordath have pulled back to regroup. We've bought ourselves time, but they'll return with everything they have. HFY's hologram appeared beside Ilara. The AI had connected to the station's systems to join the meeting. I have important information about the Kordath Empire, HFY announced. After analyzing current data and comparing it to ancient records, I have identified a disturbing pattern. The room went quiet as HFY displayed new images on the screens. They showed strange, almost organic-looking ships and creatures with multiple limbs and eyes. The Kordath are not your true enemy, HFY continued. They are being controlled by a parasitic species called the Verax. This same species manipulated humanity's downfall thousands of years ago. Shocked whispers filled the room. Ilara stared at the images of the Verax. They looked like something from a nightmare. The Verax operate by finding aggressive species and genetically modifying them, HFY explained. They use these species as proxies for conquest, remaining hidden until they've weakened all potential resistance. Are you saying the Kordath don't even know they're being controlled? Dr. Okafor asked. Their leadership knows, HFY replied. The average Kordath soldier does not. The Verax implant neural parasites in key individuals to ensure obedience. Admiral Takahashi looked grim. How do we fight an enemy that hides behind others? The Nemesis was specifically designed to combat the Verax, HFY said. That is why it was created with such advanced technology. The Verax nearly destroyed humanity once before. Your ancestors built the Nemesis to ensure it would never happen again. Far away, in the heart of Kordath territory, Supreme Commander Vex knelt before a communication device. The hologram that appeared showed not a Kordath, but a Verax, a creature with 6 eyes and gray, mottled skin. You have failed, the Verax said, its voice cold and harsh. The humans have found the Nemesis. We did not believe the legends, Commander Vex said, his head bowed. We will gather our full fleet and destroy it. No, the Verax replied. Your usefulness is ending. We are coming ourselves. Back on Earth, HFY was showing the Earth leaders more information about the ancient conflict with the Verax. The Nemesis must be fully activated, the AI insisted. Only then can it reach its true potential. What does that require? Ilara asked. The ship must determine if humanity has evolved beyond the flaws that led to your downfall, HFY explained. Your actions in the coming conflict will determine if you are worthy of controlling the Nemesis at full power. Admiral Takahashi stood up. Then we need allies. The Kordath have attacked many worlds. If we show them what we're really fighting against, maybe others will join us. Ilara nodded. The Arcturians. They have a large fleet and have suffered Kordath attacks. I could try to convince them. A diplomatic mission, then, Admiral Takahashi agreed, while we prepare Earth's defenses for the real enemy's arrival. The threat was greater than they had imagined, but now they knew the truth. The Verax were coming, and only the legendary Nemesis could stop them. The Nemesis glided through space toward the Arcturian home system. Commander Ilara Chen stood on the bridge, watching the stars streak by. This diplomatic mission was their best hope for building an alliance against the Verax. Approaching Arcturian space, Captain Rodriguez announced, "They're hailing us." The main screen showed an Arcturian official, tall and blue-skinned with 4 arms. His eyes widened at the sight of Ilara and the human crew. "This is Counselor Zen of the Arcturian Conclave," he said formally. "Identify yourselves immediately." "I am Commander Ilara Chen of Earth," she replied. "We come on an urgent diplomatic mission and request permission to meet with your leadership." The Arcturian frowned. "You arrive in an unknown vessel of significant power. The Conclave has little reason to trust humans." "This ship is called the Nemesis," Ilara explained. "It's an ancient human vessel, built to fight an enemy that threatens us all. Please, the information we bring is vital to your survival." Counselor Zen seemed to consider this. "Very well. You may approach our orbital station. But be warned, any aggressive action will be met with our full defense fleet." When they docked at the Arcturian station, Ilara was escorted to the conclave chamber. Representatives from 12 different species sat in a circular arrangement, all watching her with suspicion. "Speak, human," said the Arcturian High Counselor. "Explain why we should listen to you when your kind has been absent from galactic affairs for so long." Ilara took a deep breath. "The Kordath Empire is not what it seems. They are controlled by a parasitic species called the Verax, who have been manipulating events for thousands of years." Murmurs spread through the chamber. One representative, a reptilian Sorvan, stood up. "These are bold claims. Where is your proof?" Athena's hologram appeared beside Ilara. "I am Athena, artificial intelligence of the Nemesis. I have records dating back over 4,000 years." The alien representatives gasped at the sophisticated AI. Athena displayed holographic images of the Verax and their parasitic technology. "The Verax caused humanity's ancient downfall," Athena explained. "They have done the same to countless species, including the original Kordath civilization." An elderly Arcturian stepped forward from the shadows. "I have seen these creatures," he said quietly. "In our oldest historical archives, there are images almost identical to these. We called them the Devourers." Other representatives began talking excitedly. Several mentioned similar legends from their own histories. "This is why the Nemesis was built," Ilara continued. "It's the only weapon specifically designed to fight the Verax. And now they're coming again, in full force." The High Counselor looked troubled. "If what you say is true, this changes everything. But what do you propose? The Kordath fleet is massive, and if these Verax are as powerful as you claim—" "We propose an alliance," Ilara said firmly. "The Nemesis can lead our combined forces. Together, we might stand a chance." A heated debate broke out among the representatives. Some argued for immediate action, others for caution. Finally, the High Counselor raised his 4 hands for silence. "We will need time to verify your information and consult with our military advisors." But he looked directly at Ilara. "If your warnings prove true, the Arcturian Conclave will stand with Earth." As Ilara left the chamber, Athena's voice spoke quietly in her mind through the neural link. "Your diplomatic skills are impressive, Commander. The Nemesis has unlocked additional defensive systems based on your actions today." Hope grew in Ilara's heart. Perhaps humanity had evolved after all. Perhaps they would be worthy of the legendary warship's full power when the time came. 2 weeks after the meeting with the Arcturian Conclave, a new alliance was forming. Ships from 7 different species had joined Earth's remaining fleet. The Nemesis, now slightly more powerful as its systems continued to unlock, led this diverse armada. "We're receiving an emergency signal. Lieutenant Park announced on the Nemesis bridge. It's from the Sorvan colony in the Proxima sector. The main screen showed a Sorvan officer, his reptilian face filled with fear. They're here. Not Kordath. Something else. Organic ships, dozens of them. We need immediate assistance. The transmission cut off abruptly. Athene. Analysis. Ilara asked. Organic ships match Verax design. The AI confirmed. They have revealed themselves earlier than predicted. Admiral Takahashi's face appeared on a side screen. Commander Chen, take the Nemesis and the fast response fleet to Proxima. This is our first contact with the true enemy. The journey to the Sorvan colony took only hours with the Nemesis leading the way. What they found there shocked everyone. Massive biological ships, looking like giant living creatures, surrounded the colony. Unlike mechanical vessels, these ships seemed to pulse and move like enormous animals. They were firing strange energy weapons that melted through the colony's defenses. Those are Verax ships, Athene confirmed. Living technology powered by consumed energy and resources. How do we fight them? Captain Rodriguez asked, staring at the alien vessels. The Nemesis was designed for this, Athene replied. Initiating combat protocols. The Allied fleet engaged the Verax ships. Normal weapons seemed less effective against the organic vessels. The Nemesis, however, cut through them with precision. Through her neural link, Ilara could feel the legendary warship adjusting its weapons to target specific weaknesses in the Verax biology. More enemy ships arriving, Dr. Okafor warned. They're targeting the civilian evacuation shuttles. Ilara saw the situation through the ship's sensors. The evacuation shuttles were filled with Sorvan civilians trying to escape. They were defenseless against the approaching Verax ships. She had a split-second decision to make. Their best tactical position was to maintain formation with the Allied fleet. Breaking off to protect the shuttles would leave their flank exposed. Athene, we need to protect those civilians, Ilara said firmly. Redirect power to engines and shields. We're breaking formation. Warning. Tactical analysis indicates increased risk to the Nemesis, Athene replied. I don't care about the tactical analysis, Ilara said. We don't sacrifice innocent lives. Ever. The Nemesis surged forward, placing itself between the Verax ships and the civilian shuttles. The enemy fired their biological weapons, which splashed against the Nemesis's shields. Ilara felt something change through her neural link. A warm sensation spread from the back of her mind throughout her body. Commander Chen. Athene's voice sounded different, almost emotional. Decision analyzed. Moral framework priority confirmed. Unlocking primary systems. The ship hummed with new energy. Displays showed power levels rising dramatically. What's happening? Dr. Okafor asked, watching her instruments in amazement. The Nemesis is awakening fully, Athene explained. It was never just a weapon. It is the embodiment of humanity's highest principles, wisdom, courage, and compassion, preserved when civilization fell. Commander Chen's choice to protect innocent lives at tactical disadvantage has verified compatibility with core directives. The Nemesis began to glow with blue energy. Its weapons fired with unprecedented power, destroying the Verax ships with ease. The true power of the legendary warship was finally revealing itself. News of the Nemesis's victory against the Verax spread quickly through the Alliance. But there was no time to celebrate. The main Verax fleet was heading directly for Earth. On the Nemesis bridge, Athene's hologram appeared larger and more detailed than before. The Verax flagship has been identified. It is 3 times the size of any vessel we have encountered so far. Admiral Takahashi joined them via holographic communication. All Allied fleets are converging to defend Earth. But even with the Nemesis, we're outnumbered. There may be another way, Athene said. Now that Commander Chen has unlocked the primary systems, the Nemesis can access its full capabilities. What capabilities? Ilara asked. The Nemesis was designed not just as a warship, but as a vessel of transformation, HFY explained. It can generate an energy field that disrupts the Verax's parasitic abilities. Without their control over their slave species, their power would be greatly reduced. Dr. Okafor looked up from her station. That could free the Kordaf from Verax control. Precisely, HFY confirmed. However, deploying this field requires a complete activation of all systems, a process that demands perfect synchronization between the ship and its crew. What does that mean? Captain Rodriguez asked. It means a deeper neural connection, HFY said, looking at Ilara. The commander must fully synchronize with the ship's consciousness interface. Ilara felt a chill. What are the risks? HFY hesitated. The process is dangerous. Many of the original test pilots were lost attempting similar connections. Their minds could not handle the full neural load. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Is there no other way? Lieutenant Park asked quietly. We don't have time to find another solution, Ilara said firmly. The Verax will reach Earth in less than 24 hours. I'll do it. Commander, it's too dangerous, Captain Rodriguez protested. It's our only chance, Ilara replied. HFY, prepare the interface. HFY led Ilara to a special chamber deep within the Nemesis. The room was circular with a single chair in the center, surrounded by strange technology. This is the heart of the Nemesis, HFY explained. Here you will connect not just to the ship's systems, but to its very essence. Ilara sat in the chair, metal bands wrapped around her arms and legs, and a helmet lowered onto her head. What you're about to experience may be overwhelming, HFY warned. You will see memories from humanity's golden age. The Nemesis contains the consciousness of volunteers who merged with the ship to preserve humanity's essence should civilization fall. I'm ready, Ilara said, her voice steady despite her fear. Neural synchronization beginning, HFY announced. Suddenly, Ilara's mind exploded with images and sensations. She saw Earth as it was thousands of years ago. Beautiful cities, advanced technology, people living in harmony with their world. She felt the joy of that golden age. Then came the darkness, war, destruction, betrayal. The Verax manipulating humans against each other. The desperate plan to preserve something of humanity's greatness. Volunteers willingly merging their consciousness with the ship, becoming part of the Nemesis forever. Their voices spoke in her mind. We waited so long. We hoped someone worthy would come. Tears streamed down Ilara's face as she experienced their sacrifice, their knowledge, their hopes, their very beings, all preserved within the ship. We are the Nemesis, the voices said together. And now, so are you. Earth's skies darkened as the massive Verax fleet arrived. Organic ships of all sizes filled the space around the planet, led by an enormous flagship that resembled a giant, twisted creature. The Allied fleet looked small in comparison. Aboard the Nemesis, Ilara Chen stood on the bridge, changed by her experience. Her eyes glowed slightly with the same blue energy that now pulsed through the legendary warship. Through her perfect neural connection, she was both herself and part of the Nemesis. All systems at full capacity, she announced, her voice overlapping with HFY's. The Nemesis is ready. Admiral Takahashi's face appeared on the screen. Commander Chen, are you all right? I am more than all right, Admiral, Ilara replied with a smile. For the first time in thousands of years, the Nemesis is truly awake. The massive Verax flagship sent a transmission. The creature that appeared on screen had 6 eyes and gray, mottled skin. Its voice was cold and harsh. Humans, it said, you have troubled us once again with your persistence. Your ancestors hid their greatest weapon from us, but it will not save you. Submit now, and some of your kind may survive as our servants. We know who you are, Ilara replied. We remember what you did to humanity before. We will not let it happen again. The Verax leader hissed in anger. Then you will be destroyed. The battle began with a fury unlike anything Earth had ever seen. The Verax ships attacked in perfect coordination, their biological weapons tearing through the outer lines of the Allied fleet. All Allied ships, fall back behind the Nemesis, Ilara commanded. Prepare to follow our attack vector. The Nemesis surged forward. Through her connection, Ilara could feel the ship changing. Its very structure began to shift and transform. Hull plates moved, energy fields reconfigured, and the ship took on a new form that defied conventional physics. "What's happening?" Captain Rodriguez asked in amazement. "The Nemesis is showing its true form," Dr. Okafor whispered. The transformed ship generated a pulsing blue field that expanded outward. When it touched the first Verax ships, they seemed to freeze in place. The parasitic creatures inside writhed in pain. "The disruption field is working," Lieutenant Park shouted. "It's breaking their control." The Verax flagship recognized the threat and tried to retreat, but the Allied fleet, following Ilara's tactical guidance, cut off their escape. "This ends now," Ilara said. "For humanity. For all free species." The Nemesis projected its field throughout the Verax fleet. One by one, the controlled Kordath ships stopped fighting. Confused Kordath soldiers, free of Verax influence for the first time, turned against their former masters. The Verax flagship made a final desperate attack on the Nemesis, but the legendary warship's defenses were impenetrable. With a precisely targeted strike, Ilara disabled the flagship without destroying it. "It's over," she announced to the Allied fleet. "The Verax have been defeated." In the days that followed, the Allied species celebrated their victory. The freed Kordath joined them, grateful to be released from generations of parasitic control. Ilara stood at the viewport of the Nemesis, looking out at Earth. Athena's hologram appeared beside her. "What happens now?" Ilara asked. "Now we rebuild," Athena replied. "The Nemesis contains more than weapons. It holds the knowledge, art, and wisdom of humanity's golden age. And there are more vaults," Athena continued. "More pieces of humanity's legacy waiting to be found. The Nemesis will help guide your people back to greatness." Ilara smiled. The fairy tale warship had not only saved them, but had given humanity a second chance. A chance to learn from the past and build a better future among the stars. "Then let's begin," she said, her eyes reflecting the blue glow of the ship that was now part of her. "We have a lot of work to do."